Hello, guys and gals, animal friends and spirit pals, and welcome to my channel. You know, I do say hello to my animal friends out there because I figure a lot of you who are watching this or might be watching with your little familiar or your little animal companion watching with you. And I want to acknowledge them because I know they want to be acknowledged, little button heads. Okay, thank you guys for joining me today. Today, the boys upstairs are encouraging me to talk a little bit more about this new energy we're all experiencing. And I say new in parentheses, in quotation marks, because it's been around a while already. You know, people are calling it different things, like this age of Aquarius or this array of energy. I just, and there's a lot of different names and descriptions, and that's all fine and good because the more you describe it, the more you talk about it, the better, really. I kind of refer to it just as a pure energy from source being offered, given, put into the earth plane, and we're all adjusting to it and really rising up, you might think of it, to that level so that we're resonating at that same level of God or source. That's the way I think of it. Now, we were talking about this, Djwhal Khul through me, back in the early 80s when I first started. So we were already working with this energy then. So now all of a sudden it's kind of popular, and that's because it's, it's becoming more popular because more and more of us are waking up to it and, bringing it to the forefront. But it's been happening for a while. It's kind of been coming in slowly and steadily for some time. I'd really say, and what the boys tell me, is that, the Master Jesus was kind of a prequel, or was showing us a prequel to the energy, like demonstrating what it was like for one human to express his awareness of his true birth, that he was born of the god goddess, and he was expressing that on the earth plane, really. And a lot of his message was, it's not about me doing it, it's about you doing it. I'm demonstrating. But people kind of didn't quite get that, because especially in that time, and Jesus had to make a really strong, firm commitment, and he was really channeling that energy quite strongly. And a lot of times I call the energy he channeled the Christed energy, or the Christ light, maybe, or you can call it whatever you want. I'm not too hung up on names, really. I don't really feel like the spirit guides are either. But he was trying to demonstrate what it was like, what it might be like, one example of how to live a life on the earth while really being consciously connected to spirit, to source, to God Goddess. And back in Jesus' time, he was well into nature and God in nature. A lot of that's not really told, but you can see it when he would go to the forest or to the mountain, and he would spend days there, or to the desert, and then it would be stories of him talking with God in nature. So he was, he knew well that you had to be attuned to nature as well as source in nature and source in heaven, if you will, or essence, spirit form. And he was well connected with the elements in nature. That's you use those to create miracles and to create what's what you're inspired by, your imagination and your highest thoughts, and even your lowest thoughts. We're creators. That's what we do by nature. But he was looking to demonstrate that, and he did a good job, as far as I'm concerned. I can't say I'm religious, but I say whatever helps you. Religion helps a lot of people get in touch with their spiritual self, and that's great. Um, but if your religion is preaching a lot about it's all about us and not about them, if there's all that any kind of thing about separation, in my opinion, they're off track. In fact, religion came into being, so to speak, after Jesus. And in these 2,000 plus years since, it's kind of given, in my opinion, God a bad name. Religion kind of got turned upside down. And that's because it was more of a creation from man than from source. So again, it's an ego creation. And right after Jesus, the men in charge, or the people in charge, wanted to squelch that. Jesus was showing you that you had the power within yourself. You didn't need some other person to tell you what to do, like a ruler or some leader or somebody like that. The power was within you, and it was the same for everyone. So they wanted to squelch that message, and they did a really good job. And as a matter of fact, we're still suffering from that, that good job they did, which was to teach us separation rather than oneness. And ego-centered men, women, humans want you to believe that because it's easier to control you and manipulate you, because they keep feeding into you that you don't have any power, that they have the power, not you. And a lot of religious leaders, it's all about me. Come to me to hear what God has to say, rather than listening within yourself. Government leaders, we can do it better for you. And really, those humans that are off track and that are trying to create without a spiritual foundation, their creations eventually reel off, go crazy, and crash and burn. And lucky us, we chose to be here at this time, but we're watching a lot of that crashing and burning going on now. Finally, thank you God, finally. I could see this happening way back when. And, there's a weird thing about time, and like when I look through their eyes, it can seem like it's happening right now. But then in Earth time, it's a little slower than that. I see that when I watch some of these great tarot readers I watch online. It can seem immediate, but then it's not that immediate in Earth time. It's a little bit slower. So, back in the 80s, I was all ready to have the world transform before my eyes then. And I'm still waiting. And, just hanging on to that belief and really just holding on to that. And that's really what we're all to do, is each one of us wakes up. The point is, you woke up and you just stay awake and you just hold on to that. Now, it's speeding up. And the reason it's speeding up is because more and more individuals are waking up on their own. And the same thing that woke you up and the same thing that woke me up, that little tiny voice or whatever it was, your conscience, whatever, it got your attention, it woke you up, and now you're on the track. That's the same thing that will wake those other people up if they choose it. Now, you chose it. I chose it. Or sometimes it feels like it chose you, but you agreed, And that same opportunity is available to everyone, but they have the free will choice to choose it or not. You can choose to believe totally in separation, that everything that you create comes from you without any kind of spiritual assistance or help. It's all you. You're just wonderful. You're God, not source. It's you. And look, I can create, and you do create because we're creators. That's what we do. And you can do quite a bit of creating selfishly, but eventually it collapses. It's that tower. It eventually does that. Because here's the thing, guys. All roads, all paths, every single one lead to source. Eventually. You can make your homecoming faster and more fun by joining in. Or you can have a really long, curvy, filled with strife and close calls and phony gods and selfishness and greed and whatever. You can murder, steal, rob, live your life that's in a way that just satisfies you and doesn't give a crap about anybody else, and you're allowed to do it. But eventually, even that path will eventually go back to source, because that's the only destination, guys. That's it. Ta-da! There's no other destination. You can pretend like it, and you can make a really good show of it. It doesn't really change the truth, though. And the boys have telling me that we've gone past the halfway mark. If we look at worldwide humanity, we've gone over half waking up. So and you wake up in different stages, and you get more and more woke as you go. Each day I hope and I think I wake up more. Even if it's just this little bit much more, but more. And as you do, those around you are more likely to wake up too. It's kind of catching. It's like a good pandemic. It goes around and you can spread that instead of disease and fear and blech. You can spread the light workers. That's what we are. And we spread it from one to another, and it is spreading. It's happening, and it's happening relatively quickly. I always would like it to be faster because I have the patience of a gnat, but it is moving along fairly quickly. And the guides are telling me that we're up to about between 60 and 65%. That's what I'm getting, which is good. But we're really shooting for a 75. We're really shooting for 75% wokeness in the next couple of years or less, this or something better. Because when we get to that kind of 2/3 ratio, the more change in our physical reality will come. Because our group mind is participating together, and we're creating reflections of that group thinking in our real world, and we'll begin to see it more and more. And then and thank goodness to us, all of us that are in it and doing it, because we're doing it for us, but we're also doing it for the group. And then the group can see it more clearly, and then it's easier for them to catch on. We really would like everybody to wake up and join the party. That'd be great. Feels like some might not and do something else instead, and that's okay too. But the more that we can wake up, the better. I know we're going to get 75%, and I'd be surprised if it doesn't go higher. Now, I hope I'm still here in this body. I hope I don't have to go get a new body and come back to enjoy, our victory. But we'll see. I have high hopes. And I got those rose-colored glasses on, so I'm always looking to that. But guys, that's the good news. It's happening already. It has been happening for a long time. It really started, in my opinion, and from what I understand by looking through these guys' eyes, a couple of thousand years ago or so, and it's been slowly inking in. I'd really like to say that Master Jesus kind of escorted it in. And when he came in, a group of souls came in with him. They were called the Essenes. There's a really great book called The Way of the Essenes, a channeled book if ever you want to read something fun for entertainment purposes only. But it's a great book. But anyway, they came in to kind of surround him and protect him, add like a protective covering around him, because it was going to be particularly difficult to hold that energy by himself. Anyway, now it's coming through us as a group. That's the second coming, guys. I mean, Jesus might show up too. I don't know. It's up to him. By the way, I love Master Jesus. And I have channeled him from time to time. I love that energy, even though I'm not religious. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church, though, if you want to talk about religion. And I really only left when I realized they didn't like me or didn't want me there. But I still like Jesus, and his energy's great. And I channeled his energy as well as Mary, his mother's energy, from time to time. Love it. And, he might show up. I don't know. But the second coming is us showing up. It's the Christ energy, or whatever you want to call it, this new energy, this source energy, being expressed through all of us, being expressed through the group, being expressed through the individual and also through the group. So it's a double edge there. It's really, really exciting if you give yourself time to think about it. It's hard to even imagine how things might look when we're coming from that place. Anyway, I think I've included everything they wanted me to talk about. I usually go all over the place and hope it all comes together and makes sense. At least I pray that happens before I start. And then we see how it goes. But, I just think that's an uplifting and great message. And let's rejoice in what's happening, and be glad that our systems are falling apart so that they can be rebuilt. Boy, have a lot of the devils and I don't even know what you want to call it, demons, have come out of the woodwork. We've really seen them flushed out all over the place on purpose. And that's so that we can re-choose, and re-choose as a group. We don't want the leaders to choose. We're choosing as a group, and then maybe have a leader that has our best interest in mind. Okay, my friends, I love each and every one of you. If you like the video, please push the like button and subscribe. I'd love to have some more subscribers. And I hope you guys are having a great day. And talk to you later.